Hiya, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucie, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris news. New flowerbeds and landscape stages have appeared in the Castle Hub ahead of the 30th anniversary celebrations.
More 30th anniversary drinks and snacks have been revealed.
It has been confirmed that Waltz and Toad Hall will both reopen this year.
Bob Chapek reports record earnings growth from parks and resorts in the Q1 earnings call.
I literally read that dry then. I didn't know about Waltz. That's cool.
Did you not? Did you not?
No, I thought it seemed like it might be happening. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute. But,
well, I was going to say let's get straight into it, but let's not, because then I really lose my thread when we don't talk about things in the order they're meant to be spoken about.
Should we talk about the Mickey in the room?
The Mickey in the room, the waving Mickey in the room. Hugh is, as you know, we are people of multiple hobbies. All three of us are, and Hugh is currently rehearsing for a Sondheim musical company in which he plays the part of.
Oh, don't ask me. I don't know which part he's playing.
I can't remember. I know he's not playing Bobby.
No, he's not playing Bobby, and neither am I, but that's another story.
That's a different thing. So he's at a rehearsal, which will hopefully finish about now, and then he's going to come back, and he might, before the end of the podcast, he might just appear here in the place of Mickey. But until then, we've got the main mouse himself filling in, and you've got us too.
I like how one of his ears has kind of flopped over, isn't it? You noticed?
Yeah, he's been bashful.
Bless him.
Been bashful. He knows.
There he is.
He knows he's not the first choice. You see, there we go. Mark Riley says huge disappointment.
Hey.
I think that's what he was trying to type. It's a bit difficult to pun.
Yeah,
in a chat,
in
isn't
text.
it?
Yeah, it is.
Fair enough. So today we're going to talk about all that news. We've got some listener questions about first-time visitors. If you've been keeping your eye on the YouTube channel, you will know that I uploaded a video about top 10 tips for first-time visitors this week. We're going to sort of expand on that with some specific questions, specific tips, rides that we would go on, etc., etc., etc. But first, we're going to talk about all this stuff.
Ooh, this is exciting.
So you didn't know about Waltz?
I didn't. I had a feeling. There was a feeling in my gut because of things that happened with... there was a do in there, wasn't there, not so long ago?
Oh, yeah.
And it keeps appearing, or interior pictures and stuff have appearing a bit recently. So I thought it might be on its way.
For a few, when they let press take pictures of and try the drinks and snacks and stuff, it's always kind of where the layout is. They had a press party in there, didn't they? Inside Ears party. And the thing is, if you've been following the history of Waltz, I wish I could go back and remember when it shut, but I'm thinking 2018 it just went down for refurbishment and never came back, and it was a bit of a ghost town, and we all thought it was going the way of Pizza Planet, which did the same thing.
We talked about it a few weeks ago, didn't we, saying exactly that.
It just, nobody mentioned it. It's like, let's not talk about it, and it was just going to disappear. And then, like you just said, they're just the odd little thing, and this was in Waltz and a picture of Waltz, and we thought, oh, they're acknowledging its existence. And sure enough, it is reopening. Now, they are pitching it as part of the 30th celebration, to honour the 30th celebration. Now, if they were saying that for Waltz, I might take it okay, but because they've said Waltz and Toad Hall will reopen, we never really thought Toad Hall had shut.
Well, no, but it's been shut for a long time. And again, they had a cast event in there, didn't they, a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I think they did.
So, and that was the first we'd heard of that being used for quite a long time. So
the thing is, it was always a restaurant, because it's not got the biggest capacity and it's a bit tucked away and it's not too far from Chateau de la Marionnette, which is huge. So it was always a bit of a seasonal restaurant. It would be shut in January and February, and it would be shut in September, and it was always a summer holiday. It was shut
both times we went.
It's just just was always really seasonal.
Good toilets around the back of it though. If you ever want a good toilet.
Oh, that's the top tip.
Good toilets.
Yeah, and the quiet
toilets.
Quiet, hidden, nice little spot to sort of chill out. But yeah, so when it didn't reopen after the pandemic both times, because it hasn't been that long that we've been reopened, really.
No.
I personally didn't think much of it. I knew it had been shut a long time, but I just thought it's the seasonal restaurant. They're not going to open that till they've got capacity. But they do love a bit of PR. So they are selling this to you as they are giving you something that we always had, but they're giving it to you for the 30th anniversary. And they're doing that for Waltz as well. So I don't know, it's a bit of spin. I'm delighted they've announced that they're both coming back because Toad Hall is one of my favourite quick service restaurants.
What do they serve there?
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips. I think that's pretty much it. We get chicken nuggets for Bonnie. Fish and chips. They might have a fish burger on there. Can't remember. But it's fish and chips we get.
Excellent.
Not quite down the road chippy standard. Not quite. Not quite Whitby. But good enough. We enjoyed it. Yeah.
Character dining next, do you reckon?
Oh, maybe. I don't know where France are at.
No.
I mean, the pandemic doesn't exist in Britain anymore.
No, we don't have.
No, we don't have one.
Are we in endemic status now?
We're in the endemic.
In what demic?
Yeah, we're in. You know when you try and keep your house tidy, and then after a while, just life gets in the way, and your house gets so messy. You just think, "Oh, sod it. This is how I live. This is how we live now." It kind of feels like the British government's done that, hasn't it? They've just gone, "Oh, well, just forget about it. Just get on with your lives. It'll be all right." Anyway. Hey. So, yay for both those. And I think I will definitely make Waltz a priority next time I go, just in case they sneak it off the roster again.
Yeah.
Because I've never eaten there.
Well, with our meal plan come August, if we can get in there, that could be a good one to do.
Oh, do it, Chris, please.
Splash
and
out.
Do a review.
Oh, yeah.
Do a review.
I'll take my 360 camera. Yeah. Just stick it on my table and you can have a look around while we talk about it.
That will be really good.
Well, I would love to. I don't know if I'll be allowed to because my wife says that when I go on holidays, I have to have holidays and not make videos for the people. So we'll see what happens.
I should probably do that. Anyway, enough of that. What else have we got on the news thing? How are people feeling about that in the chat? We don't have our usual chat monitor going on.
Well, Claire says, excuse me. Claire says she didn't know about Waltz. She also asked which one was Toad Hall. To which Mark has thankfully replied, Mark Riley, that it's one in Fantasyland behind Peter Pan by the railway station and the Mickey meet and greet place, whatever
what's
that's called.
What's it called? The Mickey Theatre, the Fantasyland Theatre, meet Mickey, yeah. It looks like a pub. Yeah, it's done up to look like a Tudor-esque British country pub, I do believe. Someone says, oh, I bet it's French fish. What's French fish? Fish.
Le poisson.
Oh, le poisson.
Le poisson.
Le poisson.
Wow, that's the limit of my French.
Yeah, I know. Right. Okay.
Do you want me to do a roll call? I know that's what Hugh normally does, isn't it? Roll call. So we've got Kiva, we've got Mark Chester, we've got Mark Riley, we've got Caitlin over in the US. Hello, Caitlin. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl today? Because apparently that's today, isn't it?
Right. I hear Super Bowl Sunday everywhere. What is Super Bowl Sunday?
So basically, they have loads of adverts and trailers for stuff. And in amongst
that's why I know
in amongst
about
the adverts and the trailers and
Marvel
the performances,
trailers.
the halftime performances from megastars.
But what is it?
They kick and run about it. It's American football.
Oh, okay. You see, I know about the trailers and I know about the Super Bowl performances where Janet Jackson's boob falls out and stuff like that. So I hear about stuff like this. But so is it like the FA Cup final, but with more padding?
Yeah, I guess that kind of is. It's a much bigger event than the FA Cup final.
But is it like the final of a league or something like that?
Yeah.
Are we getting off Disney?
I'm quite a sporty person, but I've never really done American football. But I think basically there's different leagues and they play in different things and there's playoffs and something, and then the two best ones play against each other. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I would do if it was me doing a football league of that kind. I'd just make all the teams play each other until there wasn't anybody left. Fight to the death, and then get loads of celebrities to play music and stuff. You're going to tell us now.
As I'm not sporty at all, I like to watch sport events on mute and amuse myself by giving them all little camp voiceovers going, oh, get off me foot. That amuses me when I watch sports. Right.
Paul Horseman's there as well. He says, Mummy, Daddy, Charlie and Kobe are watching tonight. Hello, Charlie and Kobe.
Oh, we better get onto the Disney then for Charlie and Kobe.
Yeah,
I don't think they're bothered about that in particular. Right. flower beds and landscape stages. Now, these are looking good. They've got real, actual flowers going on. Now, if you were around for the 25th, what they did, and it actually did look really good. This isn't a criticism. I'm just keeping you up to date. They got succulents and they spray painted them blue and silver. So your landscaped gardens are actually had quite a inorganic feel, if that makes sense. It actually looked amazing, but that's the direction they went. This time they have planted luscious, growing, thick bushes of floral loveliness, and it's kind of purple and yellow and that kind of quite deep pinky red colour.
Yeah.
So the colour scheme for the 30th is iridescent, and that's why I had a sneaking feeling they were going to go with some non-floral florals, but they haven't. They've gone with the florals, and it looks so spring. It looks so beautiful.
These showpieces aren't plants, so are they? Aren't they big metal structures?
They haven't put those in yet, but what they've put in, because I had to squint, and this nearly got on the news until I realised...
You squinting nearly got on the news.
Well, I was going to say... interesting circular objects are installed in the hub, because I couldn't work out what it was, and then I realised it was the base of what is going to be one of the Gardens of Wonder. Right. So it's going to be one of the sculptures. So it's only the floral elements and some kind of structural things that have been put in there. So that it does look very festuous to the eye. I've made a word up then. I was trying to say feast to the eye. There's some really good... shots on Instagram. I won't even name check who they're from, because I saw about 20 going through of people doing low angle shots with the flowers in the foreground and the castle in the background, and I just kept having those moments of, I wish it was me. I wish it was me. Should have been me. But yeah, it looks fab. It looks absolutely fab. And they've built up the stages a little higher. To me, they look a little smaller in like foot space. But they're definitely higher. So whether that's an optical illusion or not, this is for the hub shows. Now, hang on, I wrote it down. Oh, Dream and Shine Brightly. The upcoming show, Dream and Shine Brightly, which will be taking place in front of the castle on the hub. It's kind of a semi-parade, semi-show kind of thing that they do there. So they've built up those for that, it's really good to see. I think this is a permanent thing with Disneyland Paris now, because I remember the days when there was 4 statues there permanently, and then I think it was Pirates and Princesses that did it first. I don't think it was the 25th. I don't know where my timelines are, when the statues disappeared so they could use them as stages. And it was quite novel, but now it appears to be the go. That works. Everyone likes it. I think they keep re-erecting statues in between seasons, but I think those can be classed as stages now, exclusively stages. But we don't mind. It's good.
Mummy and Mini Me say hi, catching you live for the first time. Normally catch up later in the week. Going to DLP on Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. This is my happy face for you. This isn't my jelly face at all.
We were supposed to be going on next Saturday, weren't we?
Oh, Chris, you were.
And then we moved it to August.
You were.
We kept it a secret from the boys for so long as well, and then...
Do you know... Hugh's end of work year is the 28th of February as far as holidays are concerned. And he's a bit of a miser with his holidays, and he always ends up with some left over. So he's got 3 days off work next week, and I didn't know, because the only reason he's booked them off is because he had them saved up. And as soon as he told me, I went, oh. I'm thinking, how logistically possible is it? In less than a week's time. No, hang on. 10 days time.
10 days.
10 days time to put together. I could easily do that, couldn't I?
Right. Let us know.
Can I afford to?
Who thinks that Lucy should book a holiday?
But Mummy and Mini Me, where are you staying? We want to know details. Is it somewhere nice? Are you staying? Oh, Claire's already asked you. Are you staying on site?
No, staying off site in an annual pass holder, so so the cheaper the better.
That's feeling it, been there. Have you got your park passes? If so, are you just going to do have you got 3 days park passes? Are you going to chance the 4th? Let us know the details. We'll get
I've got friends who are going on the 28th for the first time, and I've been talking to him about it today. I know this is kind of what's going to spark our conversation in a few minutes, but they were just so excited about it that it's made me really excited as well today.
Yeah.
So
it does. That's the truth. I love talking about other people's holidays.
Yeah, I know you do, and I never got it. You've always said this. Because you get really obsessive about people's holidays. The first time we said we were going, honestly, you should have seen Lucy's eyes light up. It was ridiculous. And I was still in that phase of going, but it's just going to be Alton Towers, isn't it? It's not going to be anything that amazing.
And I'm always like, and if you're at any restaurant, and if you just come back, that's even better. Where did you eat? Where did you find it? Oh, we've never been there. Was it good? What did you do? What were the queues like? You know, I'm like, absolutely details. And thing is, people don't like to talk about other people's holidays generally, so people don't talk about it. So when people realise that you do want to talk about it, they'll tell you everything. I want to know every bit of merch and...
That's like me in pregnancy, but that's a completely different discussion. So we won't talk about that right now.
Yeah. Wow. Can I just say, you always tell me off for using rude words, but we watched...
Here we go.
I'm trying to think of euphemisms for it. We watched Pam and Tommy last night.
Oh, yes, the talking phallic.
Yeah, and Hugh said, I never thought I would see a, let's say, fully constructed tower, man tower, on Disney Plus. And I'm like, yeah, that's quite surreal. We've got mini-me's watching. Let's change the subject. So, I'm
so sorry, everybody.
Let's go on.
A bit of ASMR there.
Drinks and snacks. Now, I do like to send these to Chris in advance so we can put them up on screen and look at them.
And so I can spell check when she's written Scott bread as well instead of shortbread.
Oh, I was multitasking when I did this today. It's very... But
go on, tell us what we got.
Things weren't working. So I've got a list of them, and if you want to go look at them, there's a really good article on DLP Report, and there's also lots on Instagram. If you just hashtag 30th anniversary snacks or Disneyland Paris snacks, there were a lot coming up on Instagram. So you have got a really quite large shortbread cookie with a stamp logo on. I'm starting you off with low expectations there. That's your most basic.
That implies, right, by saying you're starting me off with low expectations, that implies this is going to get good.
It's going to get better than that. Okay. It's going to get better. That was like the first thing I saw, and I was like,
when's the laughing cow coming in?
Well done, pat on the head. No laughing cow.
Nutella?
Plenty of Nutella.
Yes.
And I don't think this is a sponsorship thing. I think this is a French thing. Lots of apricot. They do like apricot as
like
a flavour.
Like a puree or...
It tends to be jams.
Yeah, jams.
Yeah, in things. Which I like apricot. It's just not a regular flavour in the UK. I don't as much.
No.
So, then we've got Mickey-shaped beignets. Ooh. These are French donuts, basically, are beignets. And you've got a choice of Nutella or apricot jam. Which is
okay, that's good. Yeah,
yep.
I'm on board with the Nutella ones.
All dusted in sugar and lovely.
Yeah.
A purple cheesecake pop. So, this is like... It's shaped like a wedge of cheese in that it's triangular, but of course it's cut from a cake.
I thought you said there was no laughing cow.
No,
it's a stick of laughing cow.
It's the shape of laughing cow.
Purple.
Oh my goodness! What if they've made cheesecake out of laughing cow?
Oh, I bet you money.
They didn't say they had. They might have done.
Well, Kiva says there is a cheesecake pop, so they could be sneaking some laughing cow in there, maybe.
That's what I'm on about now,
Yep.
and they've covered it in white chocolate dyed purple.
Okay.
And
it's a wedge of laughing cow covered in white chocolate, painted purple.
But I really loves me some cheesecake. I loves me some cheesecake. It's like my top 3 things to eat. And the novel idea of having it on a stick, though, because to me the best cheesecake is really quite soft.
It's off the floor like in Friends.
Yeah. But it's quite soft and almost not moussey. That's not what I'm wanting. It's... You know, your New York cheesecake kind of texture.
I think it's clarty. Sticks to the top of your mouth.
So I'm not sure my perfect cheesecake would be structurally strong enough to hold itself on a pop, but maybe that's where the white chocolate comes in.
Yeah.
I will gladly go and research this for you, friends of 37 Disney
When you go in
Streets.
10 days' time.
When I go in 10 days' time.
Because
can you imagine?
13 people have voted and they've all said yes. 100% yes, Lucy.
Is anyone going to say, no, Lucy, think of your bank account?
Hugh.
Hugh's going to do it.
But he's not here, so it's tough.
Not here.
Let's do it live.
He's not here. I could just sit here and book a holiday, couldn't I? That would be absolutely terrible. Chocolate-covered madeleines.
Okay.
I like this because it does feel uniquely French.
Yeah.
And there's those very, very light biscuits, chocolate, and they've drizzled some colours and some little Mickey head sprinkles on. They're pretty. I would buy those. I would eat those.
Yeah, I like a Madeline. What was that look for?
I don't know.
Hugh's watching. Hugh's either watching or messaging.
Oh, he's just gone, no. I mean, yes. Does he know what we're talking about?
He does.
Oh, he does. Okay.
That's why he's got involved.
Okay. Chocolate-covered, mini-shaped marshmallow pops.
Chocolate-covered, mini-shaped marshmallow pops.
Yeah.
So marshmallows.
Marshmallows on a stick in the shape of mini. I must say,
in the shape of Minnie. So in the shape of Mickey with the bow on the head.
Yes.
Right.
They're covered in, again, it's dyed white chocolate. I mean, I presume because it just says chocolate covered, but the fact that it's kind of a pale blue colour makes me think they've dyed white chocolate, haven't they?
Again.
Yes.
Okay.
Dyed. That sounds terrible. You know what I mean. Yeah, Mickey head on a stick. Looks pretty. A lot of these are at that... Is it Boardwalk Bakery? I think.
Oh, yeah. On Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, for a long time, was very rarely open. And when it was, it sold really, really boring, like squares of fudge. But they really seem to be making this the destination for these artisan snacks now. You seem to be getting some really good stuff out of there. So for those people going next week and the week after, my tip to you is don't go to the cable car bakery where we would normally go for our snacks, because it's going to be clogged up with people ordering coffee, isn't it, Chris? Go to the Boardwalk Bakery. The Boardwalk Confectionery, I think that's what it's called, which is about 3 doors down, and it sells you bagged snacks, but they've also got a counter, and that's where the more exotic Instagrammable snacks are going to be these days.
Hugh has voted no, and then to try and get more sympathy, he said they're making me sing Sondheim, guys. But Kiva says give the people what they want. I think it's really important that you get this holiday booked. Yeah. I'm not going to stop pushing with this.
Okay,
good.
Okay.
You don't seem too bothered.
Well, I'm playing it cool. So when I come on the show next week and go, guess what?
It won't be a surprise.
It'll all be the more impactful.
Yeah, okay.
Cake in a cup.
Sorry, now Claire's put. Are you guys going to use your own tip when you go in 10 days' time? So there you go. It's decided you are going in 10 days' time.
Yeah.
Everyone is just expecting it now.
I know. So I will be if I go in 10 days' time. If I go in 10 days' time, this is starting to sound quite exciting to me. I will go to Boardwalk Confectionery. I will buy all these snacks. Oh, but for the 30th, they might not be there yet.
Oh well.
I will buy some snacks and I will try them for you. How's that for a sacrifice?
That doesn't sound like a sacrifice, does it?
No.
You see, Hugh, you see what happens when you're not here.
It all gets
I make
off the
Lucy
rails.
book a holiday.
It's because you like living vicariously and it's somebody else's credit card.
I'm also very impulsive, so I'm the kind of person who would have just said, "Nah, I'm actually going to book it now," and I would have sat here booked it.
I would do that.
You're not, though, are you?
I am known for booking big trips in a mood. I'd had an argument with Hugh the day that I booked return flights to Japan, and then woke up the following morning and went, "Oh, sugar, we're going to Japan." I booked them for him as well. It was all very confused.
On more than one occasion, you've come on the show and told us about a new thing that you've booked, and Hugh hasn't known about it.
Yes.
So it does happen quite a lot.
And also, I did the same with our first Disney World trip. In that I don't do well with winter, guys. I know there's a lot of people like this. I get very sad, and then I remember it distinctly. It was the last week in March in 2018. It must have been, and we had a horrendous snowstorm at the end of March when it was meant to be spring and all the daffodils died. And I was like, I'm done with this. I'm booking to go to Disney World. And I just did. And I'd been dragging my feet. I was a bit like you. I'd been doing Disneyland Paris for years. Yeah. And I'd always talk to my friends about, I might do one day. I don't know. What's the best age for Bonnie? When do the dining plans get released? I don't know. I might save up a bit more. And then in the end, all that just went out the wayside and I just booked it one day. So if you message me one day and say I've just booked a trip to Disney World, I will be like, yep.
That's what happens.
Yep. You know, you don't need any build up to these things. Just get on the internet and book them. Anybody here who doesn't currently have a Disney trip booked, why not get on your phone right now, book a trip. I'm being very aggressive today, I feel.
You are, but in a positive, excited kind of way. Mark Riley says, book it live on the show. We can donate to the Patreon fund. No, Mark, no, because we will not use Patreon funds for our own frivolities. We've already decided.
Won't we?
No, God, I have the purse strings. No, we will.
They want me to eat snacks, Chris.
No,
it's not frivolous.
We use it for improving the show. That's what we use it for.
Okay.
Not for going on holiday.
Okay. Right, cake in a cup. I just said that.
Oh yeah, go on.
Cake in a cup.
We're doing a show, aren't we? Yeah.
There's very scant details, about these snacks. I think we've been given press release pictures of them because this is what I'm seeing the same pictures everywhere. So I think that's what's happened, and it's unclear whether you get to keep the cup, but it is a very nice 30th anniversary mug with a cake in it and
why would you not
spray cream on top.
Where is it?
I don't know that either.
Okay.
If it's somewhere like Victoria's, that are kind of a crossover, they do these featured snacks and milkshakes and things, but they're not a takeaway thing, then it might be wash the mug up. But I don't know. Some outlets are saying you get to keep the cup, which would be good. That would make me buy it. I do like a pudding a mug.
Yeah. I make those in the microwave sometimes.
I do.
You know. It's just when you've got nothing in, and you just need a chocolate hit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
Absolutely. Mickey-shaped pretzel bread sandwich. Now, do you remember when we were dissecting those press release photos and we just saw what we thought was a Mickey burger?
Yes.
And we were debating if the patties would be Mickey-shaped.
Yes.
They're not because it's a sandwich.
Not a burger.
So we're unclear what the flavour of the sandwich is, but it's a pretzel bread sandwich.
It looks pretzel-y, actually, now you mention it. The bread does, yeah, okay.
I love this pretzel bread. They do it at Chateau de la Marionnette. They do an amazing sandwich I can never remember the name of, but it's a slice of gammon. I big it up in like 4 of my videos and I've talked about it on here. But it's in this salty pretzel bread and it's just, I'm doing the Italian hand gesture because there's nothing else I can possibly do to describe it. So, yeah. Delicious stuff, people. Go and have a look at the photos. All sounds nice. And if I don't get there, and Hugh doesn't get there, and Chris isn't going till August, somebody needs to report back on what these things taste like. Give us marks out of 10.
Well, I'll ask my friend Mark. Mind you, he's going to be early as well because it'll still be February,
yeah. 28th though. How long's he going for?
28th of February. He's just going for 2 days.
I would like to be there for the 6th. Oh, well. I'd like to be there for every day, wouldn't I? But it's just not happening. Right. Bob Chapek.
Oh, yeah.
All fun discussions start with the word Bob Chapek.
Isn't he the guy that people are trying to vote out of Disney?
Yeah. Now, yeah. I mean, this is a real thing, guys. So let's talk about it. People are buying shares so that they can vote as shareholders to try and get Bob Chapek voted out as chairperson. Now, in theory, that's possible. However, when you look at it, I think that Morgan Stanley and I know Morgan Stanley's one of them, but if you think of massive, big financial conglomerates, I think there's 3 that own over 50% of the shares. So you going out and like pooling your money together with your mates and buying 5 shares when they own 60,000 shares, it's not going to work. That's not me discouraging it because I've thought before about buying shares in Disney just because I want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to be a Disney shareholder, I just think would be nice. And the hatred for Bob Chapek is real. The
hatred is real.
It is. It's real. It's out there. It's vitriolic. The petition to get... Anyone who doesn't know, Bob Chapek is the CEO of Disney. I presume you know that. There was a petition to get him sacked. Well, the news I'm about to give you pretty much makes all that moot because record earnings growth from parks and resorts in Q1, in the earnings call for Q1. Q1 is the quarter 1, and I think it actually goes from November, December, January. So it's the first one of the year, but it's not the first 3 months of the year, I think. So basically, in the American parks, he started charging for FastPass. Everything's recovered from the pandemic-ish. The capacity's gone up. Disneyland Paris is back. Disneyland Paris is charging for Fast Pass. They've got the lightning lanes. They've stopped offering free, airport transfers in Disney World. He's cut loads of costs. He's increased the price massively. Everybody, all the parks fans hate him for it. And then you get the earnings call. And it was, I haven't written these down, but I can vaguely remember them. I believe it was 7.4 billion turnover. Billion. And that included 2.4 billion profits. And this is not a massive, just massive increase from the previous quarter because of pandemics and things, but because all those new things I just said, all those increases I just said, all came in this quarter. But also it is the second highest of all time. Second highest quarter of all time. So we're all here going, no, don't take Magical Express away. How can you possibly not give us free magic bands anymore? How dare you charge for Premier Access in Disneyland Paris? And Morgan Stanley, who are majority, who have got thousands and thousands of shares, are going, profits are up. Cool.
But you know why that is though, don't you? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's what it is. So many people who haven't been able to go for 2 years suddenly want to go. Yes, there's people rearranging the holidays, and there's a lot of people who are legacy, I guess, who've had holidays booked, and like us that are finally getting onto that. But and it's also driven an awful lot of people who are going for the first time. And I just think, popularity of Disney Plus and Marvel and Star Wars and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and
they're doing things right, aren't they?
Yeah,
some things, just not the care and doing things by people.
There's entertainment and cast members and just really important things that they laid off apparently because of the pandemic.
They haven't brought all the stuff back yet.
No, they haven't, and they haven't brought all the entertainment back. And a lot of this, again, I'm talking about Florida, but things like Citizens of Main Street, there's no possible pandemic reasons they couldn't be back now.
No.
At all. And it's cost cutting because they don't directly increase revenue, and the costs that they're saving on that all goes into it, and it just leaves a bitter taste in the mouth. But you're absolutely right in that, particularly again with the US parks, is they had no international visitors for 18 months, none. And now all those international visitors, not many will cancel their trips entirely. They'll all have done what we've done and moved them forward. So this year, 2 years worth of international, well, 3 if you count this year as well, 3 years worth of international travellers are all descending this year. So shareholders are going to be happy.
Yeah. Woo.
Yay.
They are moving forward with technology though. I guess this is the thing about the staff thing, isn't it? Where a lot of automation stuff's happening at the moment, and you see this in businesses all over the world. Everybody's doing it. And this whole pandemic's been an opportunity for people to look at things and see how they're working, how they can enable technology to do things better, etc. And I get that, but it's a big but when it comes to Disney and the parks. The cast members make that place.
Oh, they do.
And if the technology is there to make things more seamless and make things work better, so that cast members are freer to give that magic and not dealing with menial things that maybe get in the way of that sometimes, then I'm all for it. But if it's just replacing people, it's not right, is it? It just isn't right.
No, you see, if they can reduce the staff budget, I mean, so many memories have been made by the cast members, and I'm particularly going to talk about the ancillary entertainment people, not people that they're in that show and they're in that parade. There's so many other things, like having pianists in the lobbies of hotels and these kind of extras that they would have, and the Citizens of Main Street and the Dapper Dan Quartet and all the things, and they had them at Paris as well. And if they can save on staffing budgets through automation, I would, as somebody paying for the ticket, I would want them to take that budget they've saved and put it into more human elements. I'm talking more guest relations staff. How many times have you been to the town hall and the queue's been out the door?
Yeah, just checking into the hotels.
And all that. More human beings, not few. I'd take what you're saving on the front desk or at check-in by doing automatic check-in and give you humans who can actually enhance your experience.
Against that is a lot of the things that people have questions about or are needing to deal with could probably be dealt with by them standing at a booth and pressing a button and finding the things that they need and then being able to move on. And that's what the app is starting to do an awful lot better with dealing with, like, where is this, where is that, how do I find this, that takes up some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So that it then frees up those people a bit more for some of the other things. So, like I said, they can work in harmony. I do think there's a way for it to work harmoniously, and for technology to be a really positive thing within the parks. I just think that finding that balance at the moment is quite difficult, particularly when the technology isn't always that reliable. Claire's
brought up a good point about extra cast members. Is character attendants really drive the character interactions, especially for fur characters. They're great. These are the kind of people I'm talking about, and this is what you want more of.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying about guest relations, and there are questions that can be answered elsewhere. I'm a technology person. I'm happy to do anything on an app that can be done on an app.
Not everybody is. I get that.
There's
I get that.
But if then, like I say, if the wages that you've saved from those people can go into the wage of a pianist to be playing in the lobby,
absolutely, yeah,
that's where I'd like the money to go.
Yeah. Invest, don't.
But I think
I completely agree with that.
Disney, under the leadership of Chapek, is they need to see direct returns on any investment. That's the feeling I get, and they don't see that returns. We know there's returns because it's things like that and memories like that make me go back.
Yeah.
But let's see how the world transpires, shall we? We all just need to get back in the parks, don't we? It's really hard to read in the chat when there's two of us, because we're talking to each other and not talking to you, and I can see some really good points being made.
I thought Claire said before, I don't understand people saying Genie Plus is worth it to skip the lines. The part I'm mad about is that we have to pay now, and not that we get to skip the lines. I think there's a lot of truth in that, and someone mentioned a couple of weeks ago in the chat about the Defunct Land episode all about queues. Have you watched it?
Oh yeah, twice.
It is eye-opening. It really is eye-opening. And some of it in a very, in quite a positive way, in that, like, it makes you realise that it actually is beneficial to have different types of queues in terms of how it makes the whole thing flow and how it makes it work. But the monetising of it is it's purely a choice, isn't it? There's no necessity for it to be monetised in that kind of way.
Because they had it and it makes no difference. Do you know what opened my eyes with that, though, is they were saying, does it increase the number of attractions that you have in FastPass? Did it increase the number of attractions you could go on? And the answer was yes, but only for certain people. Now, we've spoken before about I'm a planner, I'm a researcher, and I would spend hours researching tactics for FastPasses. And when me and Hugh went to Florida last time, we didn't stand in a standby queue for anything for 2 weeks, unless it was a walk-on and we just could. And the reason is that I would book a FastPass, go on that FastPass, and as I was coming off the ride or even just standing in the FastPass queue, I would be scrolling for what else I could get a FastPass for. And we made our ride decisions on what FastPasses are available, not really what do we want to go on. We were there for 2 weeks, so we could do that. So we would get up to 10 attractions a day regularly. And we're going around the parks going, why are all those people stood in queues? What weirdos, why are they stood in queues? And we did that for a full fortnight. Now, watching that Defunct Land video, it basically said it's only good for people who know how to use it, but the majority of people didn't have that knowledge or, what's the word? Not inspiration. They didn't want to.
The drive.
To take advantage of it. And so those people, poor people, would end up riding fewer attractions because they weren't using FastPass. And then I realised my strutting around, refreshing the app and getting all the FastPasses I could actually meant that some other family were riding fewer rides, and I started to feel a bit guilty about that. And then I was like, oh, all right then. But then I feel like paying for it, I'll pay for it, which I don't want to do, and other people will suffer because I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? The whole thing's belly up.
Yeah, it completely
It's
is.
really unfair. And I'm a socialist.
But
You know.
if you didn't have those things in place, everybody would queue in one queue and the queues would be longer. So
Yeah.
In actual fact, you can't win with it. So the fact that you're cheating the system by knowing all these different things and being able to do that, yes, you might be making other people queue for longer, but in the grand scheme of things, you're helping the system work.
Yeah.
I can always find a positive twist on things. Have you noticed that?
That is. I honestly think the paper fast pass at Disneyland Paris, as annoying as we found it, having to physically go and get a paper fast pass, it probably worked the best.
Yeah, I thought
because
that was a really good system.
There was fewer of them. Few people would be able to get more than maybe, if you were really dedicated and you were tactical, you might get 3 in a day. Most people would get 1 or 2 a day.
The standby's completely gone at Paris now because they brought them in for like 2 weeks, didn't they, at one point?
The standbys.
The
virtual.
The virtual standby. Yeah, virtual queues for
It's meant
loads of different rides.
to kick in when needed, isn't it? And it hasn't been recently. And you don't know if they've abandoned it or if it's just not been needed. I don't know.
It's a worry. But
it's Pizza Planet, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it's just strange, isn't it? It's really strange. It's going to be interesting to see what it's like when we go in August because it's likely to be busy. It'll be very interesting to see how it works.
The paid systems seem more like hierarchy. That's what I don't like. And I'm such a believer in Disney. And I just tell you all to go, and I do videos on tips, and I talk to people about the holidays. It's so magical. I don't want to feel like some people are getting a better experience than others. I don't like that.
And can I just point out, like, you would say generally you queue 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe for a ride, but probably not much more than that.
Yeah.
And I've queued 45 minutes for a ride, and apart from Autopia and Peter Pan's Flight, which have awful queues, every other one of them, I don't mind being in a queue. And when you're there with your family and you're having a laugh and stuff, it becomes part of the holiday. So I don't think, for me, it's not a deal breaker. It just isn't a deal breaker. I wouldn't go do a 6-hour queue. I know some people would choose to do that. And I'm interested to see what it'll be like with Avengers Campus Open and that new ride and the reworked Rock and Roller Coaster, and seeing what those queues are going to be like.
I think they might kick in a virtual queue then.
Yeah, I think it's likely. And I would really, really like to go and do the web slingers when we're there. But at the same time, I kind of see it as a potential opportunity that some of the other places might not be quite as busy because they're going to be.
How long are you there for?
We're there for 5 days, 4 nights.
Oh, you'll do it, I think.
I think we will. It's just, it's likely to be, if you think about the amount of time you'd normally spend in the studios, you're likely to spend the majority of it queuing if you decide to go on one of those rides and there isn't a virtual queue.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping to go, we're hoping to go at some point. We haven't booked anything yet. Stay tuned. It might be in 10 days' time. But more imminently is we know that we're going to Walt Disney World. We've never been on Rise of the Resistance because it opened 3 months before the pandemic came in, didn't it? And it's pay $15 each, so $45 to skip the queue. $45 to skip the queue, or knuckle down for a 75-minute wait. That's roughly what it is at the moment. 75 minutes seems about right. And I think the decision we're going to make is, right, we're going into this knowing what we're doing. We've got some games to play. Bonnie knows it's going to happen. We might take a snack in the queue with us if you're allowed. You're not allowed at the moment because of face masks. Yeah. And we're just going to knuckle down and do it. And I think if you go in knowing that that's a thing... Oh, we've got a friend.
He's completely interrupting our flow by singing.
Good and crazy people, my married friends.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's really about. Really about. Yeah, hi Hugh. Hiya.
There you go. We turn into musical theatre.
Mark Chester, yes. He says he says the Chester clan will rely on magic hours to get certain rides in without queuing for days. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Definitely go do that. Well worth it.
Absolutely. The question is, what rides will it be? Because the fact that Big Thunder is very rare, it has historically been part of early magic hours, but it's not generally. No. So that, to me, that's the only one that's really unmanageable at Disneyland Paris is Big Thunder Mountain.
We're just riffing here. We haven't really been talking about anything, and we certainly haven't been talking about you guys booking a holiday in 10 days.
I know, I saw this, right? And this is the thing about polls, is people aren't going to say no, are they?
I know, that's what I said.
Do you know the only people that say no on those polls are me.
You. Yeah.
Because I normally, unless it completely goes against my principles, if I see someone's asking a question like, hey guys, who thinks I should wear this pink t-shirt today? People aren't going to go, no. They're always going to go, yeah. So these polls.
So Hugh, the thing is, right, the reason that I did a poll, firstly is because I did it really quick and I was quite impressed with myself. But the reason that I did a poll was because rather than getting everyone to reply, yes, book it, yes, in the chat, which is what they would have done, I did that and they ticked the box, and so I didn't get all the chat all lost and messed up.
I'm just going to bring it back to, we're talking queuing, how long you'd queue, tactics for not queuing, how we feel about FastPass, etc.
40 minutes.
Mummy and Mini-Me says, going towards the end of the day seems to be working for other vloggers. Now, if you watched my top 10 tips for first timers this time, I said, ride early or ride late. If you are looking at something early, if you are looking at something like Big Thunder Mountain, you want to be just making it your mission to go there at rope drop, boom, get the first people in. Or even if you arrive half an hour after park opening, just don't bother. Wait till 5 p.m, wait till 7 p.m, because it tails off. I think so. Those big rides, it's like first thing or later. The one it doesn't work for is Princess Pavilion, because with character meets, they stop at a certain time and the queue will just stay that length.
Also, if you find a rider shut, top tip, hang around near it, because when it opens up again, you'll be straight in.
Yeah.
When I went on, last time I went on Space Mountain, we were just walking by and I heard someone going, it is just opened. I was like, yes. But that's the time it broke down. I was trapped in that harness for like 15 minutes, like getting really claustrophobic. Anyway, so
that's how we got
rubbish
on
in the
Phantom Manor. First time we went on Phantom Manor, the gates were shut. We'd made a specific, very deliberate pilgrimage to Phantom Manor, and it was shut. And then Laura went to the toilet. When she came back out, the gates opened, and we just walked straight in.
Get in! Awesome. Caitlin's saying, does DLP have single rider lines?
It does on Ratatouille. It does on Space Mountain, I think.
Crush,
yeah.
Crush has got...
That's how I went on Crush.
I don't do Crush.
Any others?
Tower
of Terror?
What about
so. No,
Indiana
not Tower
Indiana Jones?
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
I think Indiana Jones does. Although it's always a walk-on.
Does it?
You've just reminded me of something. I was trying to say Christopher Walken says Falcon, but it's very difficult to type that in the chat last week.
Falcon.
Christopher Walken says Falcon.
Instead of
Christopher
Falcon.
Walken says Falcon.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken says Falcon.
Yeah. A lot of people have asked you to do bits from Star Wars as Christopher Walken.
Like
Walken.
Walken. Oh, Claire says 10 years ago this year I queued 4 hours for the pavilion and got Cinderella.
Of course you got Cinderella. Who else were you thinking you were going to get? Aurora.
You see, Aurora's your one, isn't it? It's like, I hope it's not Aurora.
It's that thing where you have to go, yay!
Oh, I think they're all lovely.
Claire, who did you want it to be? That's the question.
Who was it who had the hairy
we asked this a couple of weeks ago.
Hairy belly button Ariel.
It was Hannah.
Hariel. Yeah, it was.
Because she messaged us a couple of days later and said, it was me. Ariel's belly button.
Yeah. her hairy hole in her belly button. Her hairy hole. It's getting a bit... Yeah.
It's gone off a bit.
It's gone off.
It's gone off a bit. So should we talk? Your friends had some questions.
Yeah, well, it was one specific question that I think could be fairly big, but obviously we've only got about 10 minutes left. But so they're going on the 28th and they're going for 2 days.
Right.
And what he said to me was, "We're only going for 2 days. Which rides do I have to do?" Now they're a family of 2 with a 3-year-old. Well,
Small World.
3-year-old daughter. Small World's shut.
Oh no!
Small World's shut, so you can't do that.
Of course it is.
But I guess not just the rides. What are your must dos? What would you do if you were only there for 2 days? Would you bother going to the studios when Avengers Campus isn't open yet?
Oh my goodness! Do you know, honestly,
what are the choices?
I don't think I would, especially with a 3-year-old.
Cars.
Well, I mean, walking through Toy Story Land is
Toy Story
fun.
Land. You got the Slinky
But
Dogs.
Slinky
for 3-year-olds.
Is it worth walking across the Fantasia Gardens for, really?
It depends which characters you like as well, I guess.
I'd definitely go to Toy Story Land.
Would you?
Do Ratatouille. Do Toy Story. Do you know what? Ratatouille. People don't
with a 3-year-old.
People don't talk about this enough, but like Bonnie was terrified of it. There's some very jumpy bits, and when that chef pokes his head under, there's like a sting of music, and it's really jumpy.
Awful
she didn't
for
like
motion
it.
Sickness as well.
I wouldn't take a 3-year-old. You can take a 3-year-old on Ratatouille. I wouldn't say it's the best ride for them for this reason. Bonnie was very scared.
Ollie liked it when he was 3.
Did he?
Yeah, he really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Lucas didn't like it, and he was 7.
You've got to hit Phantom Manor and
Yes.
3-year-old on Earth. I'll be honest, Bonnie sat there like that.
With her
eyes
listeners, she had her eyes closed tight.
Eyes closed like that,
This
but
is
she
the
was
thing.
fine.
In Magic Kingdom, there isn't much that you wouldn't do with a 3-year-old, or couldn't do with a 3-year-old. Obviously, there's there's the mountains, and there's Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
and there's Star Tours. Is that
Yeah.
it? Is that it?
Yeah.
You maybe Pinocchio, and maybe Snow White could be seen as a little bit scary. So you might want to consider not doing that. Snow White, you see the evil queen with her witchy horrible face. It's
Bonnie hates that ride.
Yeah, the boys won't go on either of them
Eyes
again.
shut tight on it.
Yeah.
So
It's like an old school ghost house. Is that like a ghost train ride? Is Snow White?
Yeah.
Can I-
If you had a 3-year-old girl, and you wanted to go on Peter Pan, what would you do?
dress her as Tinkerbell. Right, this is an actual. Tell your friends.
I've told them already.
Dress them as Tinkerbell. Wander around outside it looking cute.
Or Peter
Get in the fast pass line. Or Peter Pan. Or Wendy. I believe
On
Captain Hook works.
Nana.
Yeah.
This is the dog.
And that'll get you in the fast pass line, and they will love Peter Pan. I think if Small World's shut, that's kind of the next top one for a 3-year-old girl, I think.
Yeah.
Make sure you go on Buzz, and then use single rider lines, particularly if your 3-year-old is still napping him. Oh, right, take a pushchair. Don't think I'm talking directly to this person now. I don't even know if they're listening. Do not think a 3-year-old is too old for a pushchair. Don't think a 4-year-old is too old for a pushchair. Don't think a 6-year-old is too old for a pushchair.
6 is too
They're
old.
not.
6 is too old for a pushchair.
I'd say maximum 5.
We took Bonnie when she was 6, I'm sure.
Yeah, but
It's just, the reason is not for them. The reason is you can use it to carry all your water bottles and your rain max and everything in the bottom of it. And if you're doing a 12-hour day, the legs do get tired even when they're 6. Let them have a sit down in the pushchair.
It's nice when
And
they fall
thing
asleep
is,
as well.
we would honestly, I think maybe she was 5 when she last used a pushchair in the park. We were debating it when she was 6, and then the trip was cancelled. But at 5 years old, she was at full-time school. Obviously, she'd been out of a pushchair for 3 years or something. And she just wanted to sit in it and
it's
eat a
hard to get a pram
popcorn.
that would fit a 6-year-old.
She just wanted to sit in it and eat a popcorn. And I just don't... If anyone's ever debating, oh, my kid's 3 or 4, do you think they'll need a pushchair? Yes.
It's a lot
just
of
take
walking.
it.
You're going to walk
Just
20
take
to
it.
30,000 steps a
Yeah.
day, easily.
And like I say, it's just we miss having one, don't we? We miss having it to carry your shopping.
I don't. I really don't
Don't
miss
you?
it at all. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I
Fair.
don't miss like doubling back to go get it from the ride entrance.
Yeah.
Having a full boot every time you open the car because there's no room for anything else but your pram.
Yeah.
I don't miss any.
Well,
of that.
we when we were at Disneyland Paris and Disney World, we wouldn't have a car generally. We'd just be walking to and from the
Just going back to
hotels.
Buzz though, you
Yeah.
said take them on Buzz. They are going to be more watching if you're playing it with a partner, and the
Yeah,
kids sat in the middle.
Ollie did at 3. He watched with us. Yeah.
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 And then they reach that age where they want to play, but they're not very good at it. So one of you has to miss a turn, which is kind of annoying.
to help them with the
Yeah,
gun.
I'm like, oh, you're helping Daddy. You're ruining Daddy's score.
Casey Jr.'s great though, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, a bit of a very very tame roller coaster for kids, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice. I like
Well, as I said, my friend Joseph, that was too fast for him.
that. Oh.
He hated Casey Jr., the kids' roller coaster.
I've just remembered what they have to do.
Go see the Statue of Liberty.
No, go to the Disney Junior dance party that isn't called that anymore. Dream Factory.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Studio D.
yeah.
Go to Studio D Dream Factory. It's designed for preschoolers.
So you
and it's
would go to the
glorious.
studios in 2 days. Then.
So we would, yeah.
you
go
shall go to the
go
studios.
to the studios. Make sure you go on Dream Factory.
Go see the Toy Story. What they call it? Road to.
Oh
Kingdom of
yeah.
God.
Oh, I need to do that as in my hidden tips one. Is what's it called?
I don't know. Hugh knows, but he's busy listening to the show on his phone.
Yeah, that's what he's doing down
Can we
there.
have Mickey back?
I'm checking my audio's loud enough.
What's this called? This in the art of animation.
A zoetrope.
Zoetrope.
Yeah, go see
Go
that.
see the zoetrope in art
Also,
of
they're
animation.
doing the cars. They do the Stars in Cars type stuff in studios as well. So you can see Ratatouille and
you
Cruella,
see that's good. I was moaning about the lack of entertainment earlier, but that's new in the studios and it's great.
So there is some stuff worth seeing there. It's just it's a half day park, and if you're only there for 2 days, do you want to use a whole half day there? Probably not.
I would go the first thing of the second day, and I would aim to leave before midday.
Yeah, go get your lunch in the Magic Kingdom.
Claire says Dumbo, but that might just be an insult.
Yeah, Dumbo. Thing is with Dumbo, is it even on quiet days, it can potentially have a long wait because it's people go on it, load it, people go on it, load it, ride, and they just move slower. And it's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit soul-sucking to wait for it. We kind of keep an eye on, does it look like if you've got 1 or 2 rotations to go before it's your turn, we'll go on it. But I won't wait half an hour for Dumbo, 40 minutes for Dumbo, personally.
Go
it's a
meet
bit
some
of a tricky
characters
one.
as well. Go meet some characters.
This is a lot for 2
worth,
days,
I know,
isn't it?
But it's worth doing. And also, actually, kids love trains. If the train is running, I don't know if it is at the moment, but if the train's running, it's a worthwhile trip around the park. You get to see quite a lot of stuff, and
mid-afternoon,
takes up 25 minutes.
Sit down, and everyone's a bit quiet. Stares out the window of the train. Highly recommended.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. 3-year-old will still love Pirates of the Caribbean. Highly recommended.
Yeah, they'll talk about those for weeks afterwards about how scary those drops are. But
Molly Brown.
Love it. Oh yeah, Molly Brown.
I like to say 2 days though. You've got 2 days. I don't think you get everything done that we're saying, and I think I would skip Molly Brown. It's good for a 3-year-old.
Well, it's not half term though. It's maybe it is. Is it the end of half term? Is it that weekend?
28th is the end of half term. Yeah.
No, it's Monday, isn't it? Is it the Monday after? I think it's a Monday, isn't it? Monday, Tuesday, which means it's likely to be quite a bit quieter. So you might get around some of these places a bit more.
Sit down in the hub and admire things. Don't forget to do that. People forget to do that.
Don't listen to Mark Riley, who says the Tower of Terror is good for the kids.
Do you know?
He's lying to you.
I spoke to a mum who had taken her the first thing they did at Disneyland Paris was take the 5-year-old on Tower of Terror, not really knowing what everything was, and just that's it. They cried. They wanted to leave. They hated Disneyland Paris. They didn't want to go on any more rides.
Oh, gosh.
They didn't believe the parents when they said, no, this is Peter Pan, you'll like this one. No, that's what you said about Tower of Terror. And it just ruined the thing. So don't. Having said that story put me off going on Tower of Terror for years, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Lucas took me on the parachute drop. He begged me to take him on the parachute drop, and I hate stuff like that. And I absolutely loved it. And he was scared stiff.
Oh no.
And I'm not sure
Parachute
if I get him back on it.
Drops pretty gnarly.
It's fun. It's good.
I've only been on it once.
You don't feel like you're free falling because there's enough resistance there that you feel like it's all motion. But it just doesn't feel like it's ever going to stop because it happens like 4 or 5 times. And the countdown means you know when it's coming, which I think if you're a bit scared, the anticipation's there. Whereas if you didn't know and it just dropped, you deal with it. But there you go.
Max says yes, don't listen to anything I say, but then he also said something about masks, didn't he, Chris, that you pointed at?
Yeah, he says masks may not be required in the parks. As of February 28th, the French government has announced easing of restrictions. It's up to DLP to decide if they go along. I wonder whether DLP will decide to go along with that or not.
Don't actually know.
No.
I think they might switch to inside only. I don't know.
To start with,
I don't know where they're at with the moment. When we went, it was everywhere, including outside photos. That was last August.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be black or white, ones or zeros, yes or no, doesn't it? You can't have any grey areas because then where's the line? It's just easy to go. It's everywhere. But it feels crazy now that like some guy shouted across at me in an empty
courtyard.
Courtyard, like mask. And I was like, oh, sorry, I forgot because I just got up from the table outside Casey's. And now thinking back, I'm like, come on, mate.
No, I think
there's no one here.
I think it's quite possible to do the indoors thing. That's what they've been doing in the US, and they just post people at the front of the ride. Just say, because it's all the queues, isn't it, that are indoors. I don't know. I hope so. I know.
Really?
We've only just got you. Is there anything you want to talk about, Hughie?
No.
Are you excited for the Super Bowl? We were talking about this earlier.
Yes. Go Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh. Yeah, it sounded like you knew what it was.
No, that's because I supported them when it was on Channel 4 in the 90s, but only because I got a Minnesota Vikings purple and yellow hat from Alton Towers because I liked the logo. So then I was like, this is my team. Same with Oakland Athletics.
That's who Minnesota Vikings is who Marshall supports, isn't it, in How I Met Your Mother?
Is it now?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Go Vikings. Are they playing?
No. But, well, I'm saying that.
I'm excited for the Doctor Strange trailer, at least.
Oh, yes.
Am I?
Well, we don't know it's dropping. We strongly suspect it's dropping, don't we?
I think it is.
Do we know it is now?
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
See, that's what I'm bothered
I think there's been a pre-trailer.
And we think that the Obi-Wan, the full Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer's dropping as well, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Do you know, it's gotten to the point now where you don't know if a trailer is just a really good fan trailer. So we saw the first Obi-Wan, and I was saying, I don't know, this could be fake, but then you find out he's real, and you're like, because I remember watching one for Force Awakens, which once I found out it was fake, it was obviously fake.
Yeah.
They had a CG Boba Fett in it that was like from a computer game. And I was going, oh, Boba Fett's in it.
Yeah.
It wasn't him.
Speaking of Boba Fett, he had a cameo in that Boba Fett series, didn't he?
Yeah, I did enjoy that thing that was like, who's your favourite cameo? And it listed 9 characters, and the last one was Boba Fett.
I've got
a lot of people didn't get the joke, though.
No.
Quick question before we go, and you can answer this in the chat as well. Just while we're talking about characters and extended universe things, Avengers Campus opens this year. Let's say you can only have 3 wandering characters in the land. Let's not do meet and greets. Let's say the wandering characters. Who do you want?
Ooh.
Iron Man, Spider-Man, She-Hulk.
That's... Well, by then, will it be released by then? Might be.
I don't know. Maybe not Spider-Man because he has his own gig, doesn't he?
Miles Morales.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Loki, because I think he seems to be quite playful with
I want
people.
Loki.
I think he's quite
but we got the French Loki, didn't we?
Yeah, that's true.
We got the quiet Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who would my third one be? I really don't know. Scarlet Witch, why not?
Hawkeye from Kiva. Yes, I like Scarlet Witch. Hawkeye and what's his friend called now? She gave herself a name.
Lady Hawk.
Lady Hawk.
Is that really what she's called?
I want to say yes.
Anyway, Hawk
You
Girl.
also missed Lucy being rude.
T'Challa, yes. Black Widow and T'Challa.
And Spider Pig.
I'd like the whole, what's it, Dore Menage.
There is a Lady Hawk, but it's not her.
Somebody tell us, in this series that we just watched and loved, Haley what's her face? What was her character called? Somebody in the chat knows, please. That's feeling...
Isn't she just called Hawkeye now?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think she's Hawkeye, isn't she?
Maybe.
Could be.
Haley
Who
Steinfeld.
knows?
Kate Bishop. That's what I'm going for. I would like Hawkeye. I would like Loki. And I know it's been...
And Owen Wilson.
It's rude taking it more than one, but I like Doctor Strange as well. I'd like to have the Dore Melage doing a walkthrough. That would be. Am I saying that right? Okay.
This is what we've missed today. I think we've...
Agatha Harkness.
That's no moon.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
That's the space station.
She showed up for Boo Bash and looked epic. Yeah, that would be a very good one for Halloween, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you can bring Halloween into the Avengers universe, which I'm sure you can. Bring Agatha Harkness.
They should do white chocolate Vision lollipops. White Vision.
Filled with Nutella.
Filled with the cheese.
With the cheese. On
Right.
a cake pop.
Okay.
Hugh, for next week,
Yes.
Christopher Walken singing the Life Day theme tune, the Life Day song, please.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to hear. We all want to hear it.
Do we?
Yeah, we all want to hear it.
Okay.
Do you want me to do a poll? Everyone's going to say yes.
Right. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up now, guys. Thank you very much for joining us on this rather unorthodox Sunday night. Are you going to be with us next week, Hugh, or is it going to be a
Same
late
deal.
But it's not going to be every Sunday, is it? We've just got 2 in a row.
No, that'll be it.
That'll be it.
There will be some Sunday rehearsals. They're not normally this late, though, are they?
What time did it start?
7.
That's unusual for my father.
Isn't it?
Yeah, he's normally 6 o'clock on a Sunday person.
They're normally earlier, aren't they? This is probably not the place, is it?
Yeah, sorry, we should have wrapped up and then had this conversation.
I actually forgot we were on air then.
We might be a little 50.
Sorry,
we might be a little 50-50 with Hugh next week on the Sunday, but then hopefully we'll be back to normal. But we will soldier on, won't we, Chris?
We will.
We'll soldier on. So thank you all very much for joining us. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. Keep your eye on the tube for more videos to be released, because I am doing some tips videos at the moment. You've got a driving tips one that you're in.
Yeah, I've started writing it and I need to film it, but I'm going to do a bit about driving and going on Eurotunnel. Basically, yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. So I've been Lucy, this has been the boys. You've been great. Thank you very much. Good night.
Ciao.